The 1800s was a wild time. They had trolls just like we do. And this is a story about how you can still love the haters and hate the trolls in a different century, but it still has the same internet energy. So, during his time in New York City as a police commissioner, Theodore Roosevelt became a deeply unpopular person by enforcing Sunday liquor laws. And newspapers at the time were openly mocking him, calling him this police czar, this dictator. And the base of people that originally found him a hero for rooting out corruption at the highest levels of the police commissioner's seat and taking out the bad leadership and trying to disconnect the leadership of the police from partisan politics and just making it its own entity, they all attacked him for the same thing. Now, Teddy Roosevelt actually despised this law. He felt like if this is something that people choose to do, then they should have the freedom to do it. He felt that it was borderline unconstitutional to tell somebody they can't drink, and especially the immigrant base that was in New York City. But it was a book on the laws nonetheless, a law on the book nonetheless. And so this is what he needed to enforce, because until the law changed, it was something he felt like just out of duty, he had to enforce it. Well, over time, the very fan base that loved him started to hate him. And they ended up organizing a protest. They had said, "Hey, if you have the cojones to actually show up to this thing, we're going to be doing a protest march, and you're invited to it." And funny enough, he went to the protest march that was anti-Teddy Roosevelt. And for 2 hours, he had people, over 30,000 people, carrying banners of slurs and things that were just complete protests against him and his leadership. And he took it on the chin. He'd smile, he'd wave at them, he'd talk to them as they crossed by. Some people, he thought it was a really funny banner and he asked to keep it as a souvenir. But the point is, he took it on the chin. He didn't try to fight or anything like that. And eventually, some reporters saw how he was responding to this criticism, and they described that he as him cheering those who came to jeer him. He cheered those who jeered. So his willingness to face the firing line in this crucible of haters and take it on the chin, not fight back, it did more for his credibility than a speech ever could. It showed that he was willing to take the heat without begging for somebody else's protection. It showed that he's willing to enforce things that were very unpopular to the donor base, whether it's grassroots or the elite that the political party system worked like at the time. And it helped him build a respect and gave him that man in the arena persona before he really ever wrote that poem that everybody knows about now. He had that man in the arena persona before he ever gave it a name. So what did he do in the face of criticism? He took it on the chin. He made sure that everybody felt heard and listened to. And even though in that particular position of the New York police commissioner, he ended up losing his job specifically because of this, but it elevated him to even greater heights and eventually became U.S. president.